Luangwa district in Lusaka province is quickly positioning itself as an emerging border town and hub of trade and commerce in the country. Government is repositioning the district to harness economic potential by using its cooperative advantage as it borders with Zimbabwe and Mozambique at the Zambezi River confluence. The district is strategically located and government is constructing an ultra-modern regional office complex for the Department of National Registration and Passport, which is nearing completion at the cost of 3.3 million kwacha. Once commissioned, the Department of National Registration and Passport will be able to clear passengers and goods within the shortest possible time. Lusaka Province Permanent Secretary Steady Mwale toured the district to check on new and ongoing developmental projects embarked on by government in the district. Mr. Mwale further inspected the ongoing upgrading of the 91-kilometer Luangwa Bridge Ferrer Road from gravel to bituminous standards. The project undertaken by China Geo International Corporation in Lusaka Province will provide a short link for economic trade between Zambia and its border neighbors of Mozambique and Zimbabwe.
A good road network, brings in a lot of things, brings in employment, brings in investors, it even, makes people happy, because from what I've been told is that, it used to take about 8 to 10 hours of time for people to travel just from Luangwa Bridge to the Boma. Now it's taking, the motor is maybe less than 1 hour, 30 minutes, the road in the Boma. And if you look at the quality of the road, it is excellent. These are types of roads that we find even in South Africa, and look at the markings and everything. And what is making us even more happy is that this was a dream, of the late President, Mr. Michael Chirufya-Sata. May he so rest in peace. But you see, the Zambian people gave a mandate to Honorable Edgar Lungu, the Republican president of this country. So what it is that, like we said, that we wanted continuity. And as you can see from my back there, people have continued, working and perfecting the few works that remained.
And Senior Chief Mburuma of the Nsengaluzi people said government is on course in fulfilling its electoral promises to the people, as evident by implementation of various developmental projects in the district.
Right. So they no when they need to go to promise my PF. We know Tiwana Namaso. Tinamba Gudala Kudira, Kumantawe, Yonikamunga, Yakwanisika.
Chief Mpuka of the Chikunda people said the tarring of the D145 road is critical to the transportation of agriculture inputs and will also enhance tourism development in the district.
City idle and say, don't worry, the government will provide. We have got to do something. In case the government wants to take something somewhere, we get stranded.
The pace at which government is implementing these developmental projects will surely improve both the social and economic development of the people in the district. Zanis reports in Luangwa district of Lusaka province.
Government has terminated a 400,000 kwacha worthy contract for the construction of the health center in Kafubu resettlement area due to construction inconsistencies by the contractor. About 312,000 kwacha has already been spent on the project, which was supposed to have been completed in March last year. Project manager for Constituency Development Funds gives details on the development.
They were supposed to finish the works that was in March last year. And unfortunately, they abandoned the project. So we had called them for the meeting at the office. They came, which they said they were going to move on site, but they couldn't. So we had issued them with the first and final warning, the letter that was last year in October, to give them 3 weeks in which to complete the project, but they didn't. So what was resolved was that we terminate the contract, which we've done now.
The community has also raised concern over the development.
As farmers, we are very far from the nearest clinic, hence We want it to be opened as at yesterday. The nearest clinic is at Kafuvu Block, which is about 10 kilometers away from here, and Commando, the Army Barracks, which is about 14-15 kilometers away from here.
Meanwhile, Copperbelt Permanent Secretary says work should continue despite the contract termination.
So I just want to urge the council that even as we have terminated the contract for the person who was doing this push papers so that we open this health facility.
The health center is expected to start operating before the end of this year. Shuala Eric reporting for Zanis Ndola.
And then if you took it abroad, they would have.
This is Senior Chief Kanongesha of the Lunda-speaking people of Mwinilunga district in Northwestern Province. The traditional leader is passionate about promoting innovations aimed at reducing poverty levels in his chiefdom. This machine is Chief Kanongesha's innovation. To support Senior Chief Kanongesha, government has constructed the Mwinilunga Youth Resource Center in Kanongesha at the cost of 780,000 kwacha. Already in place are 2 hostel blocks and 2 staff houses in phase 1 of the project. Northwestern Province Minister Dawson Kafwaya has inspected the facility.
What we'll do, we'll discuss with our friends for Ministry of Sports. I'll invite them, maybe they can also come and see what is on the ground. Because it is their baby and they have to see that we move very fast. Already the government has spent some money here.
Senior Chief Kanongesha has commended government for funding the project.
We want to assure you that we will give every support to the government of the day. And we are ready to give support to the current president, His Excellency Edgar Changwalungu. Will give him all the support that he may need. He shouldn't relax in everything that he also wants to reciprocate to us. He should give us the support that we need, and we are going to give him the support.
The second phase of the project will involve construction of additional 2 hostel blocks, 2 staff houses, and 2 workshops at the cost of 2 million kwacha.
Our request is that the government should speed up the construction of the workshops, because skills training depends on the workshops very much.
Innovations aimed at poverty reduction are worth supporting, and the construction of the resource center here will go a long way in addressing high poverty levels in communities. Victor Mwila for Zanis News in Mwinilunga, Northwestern Province.
Senior Chief Kopa of the Bisa people from Mpika district in Mchinga province has commended President Edgar Lungu for his good leadership and his cause for peace, love and unity in the country. Speaking at his palace yesterday when Mchinga Minister Mwimba Malama paid the courtesy on him, Senior Chief Kopa says there is need for unity of purpose in the country in order for meaningful development to take place.
Nintu anedi eshi wilwa project wale wonfia ya kuikatana tuikatana chinga finalanda takwa becha chilembo belo kuikatana chiya chikanga sana pa mumekale so bantu bantu tuikatana
Senior Chief Kopa and Chief Umpepo have also appealed to the government to consider turning their secondary schools currently under construction in various chiefdoms into boarding schools once completed, so as to promote the education of the girl child.
About boarding school, I mean, about boarding. Control ilanguka. Pandu walapokela mafunde pa mopene. Numaba na alipa free range waleka mtu mandatu abantu filia. Eso mafumu alefulila.
Meanwhile, Mchinga Minister Mwimba Malama is appealing to contractors.
Chima umenso ya mfumu kutila. Ubuteko nga wafunye ndalama. mufuire okumona kwebatirya endalama bwangu bwangu mwayibompya kumakule pakuti imirimo ile chitashani ile sela ile ndako bwangu kanshi nga ba contractor mufuire okumona kwebatirya isukulu mwambire lyapo bwangu.
I'm Jonathan Mkuka reporting for Zanis News in Mpika.
The arts and cultural sector on the Copper Belt has remained underdeveloped despite its huge economic potential. However, the scenario is likely to change following the procurement of handcrafts, tools and equipment for Copper Belt-based artists. Arts and Culture Deputy Minister handed over the equipment to the artists at Masala Cultural Village in Ndola.
The government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Ministry of Tourism and Arts, procured handcraft tools and equipment to promote the creative industry, as well as to enable handcrafts producers who have no tools to continue with their work. In this way, Copper Belt artists will fully utilize their potential and discover other avenues which can help them grow in the arts and crafts industry.
Arts and Culture Director urged artists to use the tools and equipment for their intended purpose.
Depending upon how we utilize the tools and equipment that is going to be donated today, then the government will do other and better things in other provinces and of course in other parts of the Copper Belt. So my dear colleagues, please, this is your facility. The tools which are being donated are yours. But those tools can only be useful if you use them yourselves.
And a representative for the artists had this to say.
In the past governments, we never experienced such things. But now, it shows clearly that the government, the PF government, is stretching its tentacles to the people involved.
It now remains to the artists to make use of the procured tools to improve their welfare and thereby contribute to national development. Clara Kawimbe, Zanis News in Ndola.